Very much. Let us go over to now the next presenter, Dr. Shefali Chachar. And Dr. Shefali, your discussants will be Dr. Ajay Arora and Dr. Jatinder Bhalla. So over to you, Shefali.
Thank you so much, sir, for the introduction. And I'll just quickly share my screen here. My internet connection is slightly unstable, so I'll just put off my video. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so a very good evening to everyone, and it's truly humbling and it's an absolute honor to be present here today. Well, I'm not sure if I'm in a position to inspire anyone as my journey has just begun, but in the next few minutes, definitely I will try to share my experience, hoping to provide some tips and tricks for the future submissions for anyone looking to participate in the conference. So our poster that bagged the coveted award was a case series on primary conjunctival amyloidosis. At this point, I cannot stress enough that this wouldn't have been possible without the support and constant push of Dr. Fairuz, who's also present here today, who I have the fortune of working with and learning from every single day. So we had 5 eyes of 4 patients with conjunctival mass, which were diagnosed as primary conjunctival amyloidosis, describing their clinical characteristics, management and outcomes, and an analysis based on the review of literature. Interestingly, the review of literature actually revealed that there were only a handful of the case series which were published since the last 50 years. And the interesting part here was that we were able to see 4 cases in a span of only 1.5 to 2 years. So it was the first attempt. It was submission, and you visit the AIOS website and all the awardees and the winner. It definitely always seems like a daunting task and a daunting and a trend, but nevertheless, all you can do is give it an honest attempt. So after the abstract is submitted, you actually ask yourself, is there a winning formula? Possibly a few secret ingredients? Well, here I was without seemingly working ingredients, but just a very starry-eyed young mother and a clinician at the crossroad of her career, trying to make sense of both the worlds. But I was definitely fortunate enough to start my career learning from the very best in the field. Dr. Lal, and I think he can vouch for those Wednesday morning classes where we were even critically analyzed for the color of the template chosen, the font chosen, the legibility of our text, even in a PG session. So the training had already begun. And few other stints highlighting the importance of research and academics for a clinician. But as this journey progressed, I was fortunate and blessed to work along with Dr. Fairuz, somebody who embodies all this and more for me. And working in close collaboration with her on all the interesting cases, actually the passion, the hard work and perfection of your mentor definitely trickles down to you. Although a private practice, but the vision is always crystal clear. Excellent patient care and alongside active learning, participation and contribution in academics. And that's how you actually learn and grow. So hence we set out to send many abstract to AIOC. And this brings me to the making of my scientific poster. Personally, I actually love the category and the format of the physical poster because this is, I love art, and this is actually a medium which presents the work of science in the form of an art. It gives you a chance to have one-on-one interaction with your audience. But I would like to stress that content is definitely the king here. Half the battle is actually won if you have a strong content in hand. So we had a solid content. We had a case series of a very rare disease, which is just 0.002% of all the conjunctival lesions with systemic implication and which is often actually misdiagnosed or missed. All the cases were actually thoroughly documented. They had interesting history and clinical findings. The follow-up records of all the cases was very proper, and we had done a thorough review of literature. An important point here was all the cases had a very important learning points to note. So next I come to the designing of the poster. Personally, I prefer PowerPoint presentation because it actually gives you a freedom to play with the color, the layout, fonts. So being in a private practice, actually, I did not have any academic section to my disposal. So YouTube became the tutorial. And definitely PowerPoint gives you a freedom to play with the design more than the fixed template that is provided by something like a Canva or other formats. Next comes the layout. The layout is actually provided by the committee. Whichever conference you are presenting in, definitely stick to the layout because you are actually going to go and stick it there in the specified area of the hall. And then comes the most important part, which is the presentation. Definitely remember, it is a visual medium. So you are actually telling a story. So less is always more. Definitely practice, because you have to tell your story in a very crisp and effective manner to the 4 judges that will be asking you questions. And you can actually keep some extra information handy, because rather than overcrowding your poster, it is better to provide them with the information which is not present on the poster. So frankly, coming out of this hall, actually, I just was concerned whether I'd done justice with the presenting of the work. So it had to be a win for the team. And turns out that the panel of judges agreed. And all in all, it was actually a happy AIOC 2020 for the entire team. Well, what about the celebration? The celebration was coming back and directly diving into publishing on the same topic, and also prepping and sending out more abstracts for AIOC 2021. So yes, sometimes even the most daunting of the tasks can be accomplished if you keep at it, and if you have the right guidance. So does that mean that I have the winning formula to share here? Well, probably not. All you can do is actually just keep collecting those magic ingredients in the journey. Put your honest efforts forward, knowing that the result is never in your hand. And also there is only winning, or there is learning in science. Thank you so much, and best wishes to everyone who's listening today, and hopes for submitting any abstract in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shefali. A lot of things that you have said and needed to be said. So over to Dr. Ajay Arora and Jatinder Bhalla for the discussion.
Thanks, Partha, and thanks, Shefali, because, I was waiting for somebody to say all these things. I will actually try to summarize from what I have learned till now. And I think Dr. Subhadra mentioned, so I was just counting as to who are the presenters here. The first one was from RPC, the second from SN, the third from LVP, and the fourth from SN, and the fifth is from Horus. So it is possible for a clinician from a standalone institute, supported by a person like Feroz, to win a E.T. Selvin Prize. And so that means a mentorship is important. The second thing you brought out was, I'm very glad till now what I have learned is that you should go for the poster when you have a lot of pictures to present. You should go for the poster when you have a message to convey, a story to tell. And that through your pictures, through whatever you have done, you are able to justify the question that you asked in the beginning. And I think that's what during the first presentation, it was told that discussion is not important, because the discussion is going to happen at the time when the poster is going to be presented. I think you rightly brought out, it should be a light background, which I think everybody has brought out. You should not crowd up the poster with a lot of material. You should use simple fonts. And I'm glad you did not discuss about amyloidosis, because I would have asked you a lot of questions on amyloidosis about the beta-pleated sheet configuration. And interestingly, we did this work almost about 30 years back. We looked at pseudo-exfoliation being associated with amyloidosis. So I was going to ask you, have you looked at these eyes having pseudo-exfoliation simultaneously? Just a question. Maybe you should look for it because it's been shown. But congratulations. I think this is what I feel, that, every poster should have a message. It should be unique. And so when I look at a poster, I said, is it this? Oh, wow, this guy has done with so much simple observations and come to such answers, which I have been observing and I have missed it in the past. So I think that's what matters most, that you have a question, you answered it, and you proved it beyond doubt by whatever help you can take, whether it's Congo red staining or whatever you've done, and it's shown it clearly that it was amyloidosis, that it is nothing else, that this can be confused with a lot of other conjunctival problems. And when I go back after reading the poster, I will probably look at it with a more critical manner, and probably for histopathology, send it to Feroz to have a look at it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Bhalla.
Yeah. Wonderful poster, Shefali, and very nicely summarized by Ajay. One thing which you have very nicely this thing emphasizes that clinical acumen is very important. Like these lesions could have been missed or misdiagnosed at simple pinguicula also, but you persisted with it and you really looked into it, and to bring out 4 cases of amyloidosis, that too in period of 1.5 to 2 years, I think it speaks volumes about your astute clinical observation. And then you did, yes, content is important, but to back up that content, you did a thorough literature research, and that's how you made your poster really worth presenting. And visual media definitely is good. And nice point which you brought out is, even if you have got lot of content, lot of material to project and portray, but what you have to do is do it in a subtle manner so that you don't crowd your poster. And the ultimate message is that the value of poster is definitely not inferior to that of a paper. I think it is at par or shade above that of paper, because the poster is there for everyone to see. And all the delegates are able to see it maybe for a day or more than a day, for 2-3 days. Whereas the thrill of presenting the paper is lost after just 7 to 8 minutes. And that too, very few people are attending that hall, or they may not have attended your paper, heard about your paper. But poster is something which is there, it is projected, it is there in, if I may call it, Hall of Fame, where you can invite your friends and other people to see what you have done. And the things spread by word of mouth, that see what a wonderful observation has been done. And a simple entity like a conjunctival lesion has been diagnosed, and she has presented a series of not a very common entity. And I think that's where the value of your, and you really deserve the award which you have got. Thank you.
Shefali, when you sent this as a poster, you sent it as a poster alone, or was it poster oblique paper?
Only poster.
Only poster, good.
Only poster. Yeah.
So
Only
I think
poster.
we need to take a quick word from Feroz. And Shefali has given huge credit to Feroz. Feroz, where do you stand in that credit? Do you really wish to take that credit, or is it Shefali's credit for the?
No, sir. I will take a lot of pleasure and happiness in this. I'm extremely proud. I think I am more happy that she won it, and the only fact that I believe is like my growth lies in able to mentor someone and able to get the result out of it. So that way, I was immensely happy. We in fact celebrated. Yeah. This.
So one last question to both Shefali and Feroz. When you did all the histopathology work, do you do it in your institute?
Well, no, sir. We send it outside for histopathology. So my favorite histopathologist is Kaustubh Mule, with whom I have been working for many, many years. So I mostly send my specimen to him. So he's my pathologist.
So why I asked you this question is because most of the practitioners are in the same boat, which basically means that if you can do a good work which is related to pathology or any other thing, if you can identify somebody who can do that work for you, so you don't have to be in a big institution. You can, if you can think well, you can do your clinical research by doing a good literature search work, and you can associate with the right sort of people. As Dr. Subhadra said it, the Zoom has brought the world to our laptops, and we can exchange ideas, and people are always there to help us. Ask for help whenever we need it.
Yeah, so, and it's very important to get a right team. So as far as our practice is concerned, it's a team. Like especially ocular oncology, we have oncologists, pathologists plays a major role. So wherever in the corner of India they are, it's not difficult to choose a person that you want to work with, whom you trust with your specimen, and then send it across. It's not really difficult. The only difficulty that I have is when we have to do a frozen section, because it's a rapid diagnosis. But even then, in my place, it's not an institute. I wouldn't call it an institute, but still we have the SOPs in place where we have the selected people where it will go, and it still works out for me. Although I don't have an in-house pathologist, but I make sure that the frozen section is done. So if you explore, if you look out for people, and if you form a good team, in whatever level you are, it's definitely possible.
Fantastic, Feroz. Thank you very much. And that's a big take for all private practitioners also to present and go on to scientific